Hello, folks. Welcome to the Crime Dog live stream. I'm your host, Johnny Furic, retired detective with the Rochester New York Police Department. After serving 30 years, I did uniform patrol, undercover narcotic street investigations. I was a hostage negotiator for over 20 years, rounding out my career with the fine men and women of the ATF. That is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, where our main focus was violence and gun trafficking throughout these great United States of America. Sitting alongside me, my trusted co-host, as usual, you know who it is, 22 plus year veteran, also retired detective. He was a legendary street cop. He was an undercover cop. He was a homicide detective and SWAT team member. David Simpson, welcome to the live stream, baby cakes.
Let's go.
Yo, let's do this, man. Man, we be chomping the bit. We can't, we're like bulls that have the gate in front of them, and Danny is in the background going, okay, is this video? Is it? And we're just like, let's go. We got, we got to do, what we got to do from now on? We got to log on at like 9:29. We can't be logging on at like 9:15 because we're like wild animals getting ready.
Danny's doing his homework when we're like waiting to get out of the gate. He's like trying to put the saddle on the horse when it's in the starting gate. You're like, it's got to be done in the barn.
I know, but you know what the thing is? If it wasn't for him, everything would go to naught. But I'm going to tell you
totally.
This,
though. It would be total chaos without Danny.
But what I'm saying 100%. Is because you and I have the attention span of 2-year-olds. Like as soon as we log on, we're like, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. And Danny's like, you guys ready? Like, no, but just flip the switch. But anyways, Dave, we got a good show today. We're going to talk about the, God bless his soul, our NYPD brother that was killed a couple days ago by that crazy lunatic. We're going to talk about the tweet of the week. And that is a secret, but it's one of our favorite people on Twitzers. We talk about the PR fest bullshit in the city. Sorry, Danny. We're going to talk about that Cincinnati viral
Oh, my
video.
God. He just fell over in his chair. He just dropped a bomb.
I know. We can't. BS. That's what I meant, Danny. BS. Danny, folks, just, he doesn't like when we swear, but we can't help it because me and David are 3 steps below white trash. But anyways, we say it and it comes out. And Danny gets mad because he thinks that YouTube is going to come after us.
Just lectured you for 15 minutes and not swearing.
David, what do you want from me? Every boss that you and I ever worked for legit is like, I tell them not to do something and they go out and do it. It's like 2 kids. Don't touch the stove, David. Don't touch the stove.
Go saddle on this horse.
You can't do that. David, let's jump right into things. July 28, 2025, NYPD officer Islam. He was doing off-duty security. I'm guessing, I didn't even research this part of it. I'm guessing this was kind of like a special event. They said he was in uniform. They said he was doing security, but it seemed like it was like a special event, right?
Well, I talked to my NYPD contacts, and what it is, he wasn't on duty. They're allowed to wear uniforms on their own, working security for the
third
building.
Parties.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was in uniform, but he was not working at the time for the NYPD.
So, folks, what I was talking about, when we call them special events, it's when we're not on our duty time. It's when you see us at Lilac Fest or Park Ave Fest or Jazz Fest, and you can have officers and detectives working those events. It's overtime. It's time that's outside the scope, in most situations, outside the scope of our regular business hours, and we're getting paid time and a half for doing overtime for that. David, thanks for clarifying. I did not know that. So this is basically in uniform. So it's a hybrid. It's off duty. It's in uniform, but you're getting paid a third party to do it. We were getting paid by the city of Rochester, who was then being recompensated by like the Jazz Fest and other people. That's good to know. Anyways, I'm babbling. Ooh, take a breath, Johnny. Okay, NYPD guy gets killed.
Towel and water.
He's the man. So God bless Officer Islam. He was 36 years old. He was an immigrant of Bangladesh. As all you know, he was doing security off duty in a high-rise building, and he was killed by a dude that was definitely mentally ill walking down the street. David, so brazen with that semi-automatic AR type rifle, just walking through the courtyard, ready to enter the building. Blackstone was in there. They said the NFL headquarters was in there.
Talk about motivation to drive across country over a couple day period, and pull right up in front and take the AR out and walk right in, start doing it. It's really crazy how committed he was, and it's not a compliment. It just shows you how deranged he was.
Yeah.
And the poor officer's wife is doing a month, I think.
I know, it's horrible. I'll tell you this, though. when it first happened, me and my wife were watching the videos, and no one knew what was going on. There was two things I didn't like that the news outlets were saying, specifically Fox, by the way. They kept on using the term for 2 days, spray. He sprayed, you know, I'm like, you could have said, he fired shots. Sprayed sounds like, you're thinking like you're from the hood. You know what I mean?
Right.
He sprayed rounds, they're saying. I'm like, that's so unprofessional.
I agree.
Anyways,
And I didn't like how they showed. I know it was civilian footage, but I didn't love how they showed him getting worked on, getting brought out, and CPR was being done on him. They obviously was gone, because we know very well if there was any chance of him surviving, they would have thrown him in a blue and white and got him to the hospital. That's pretty much the protocol for what we do.
Yeah.
But and you could see when the other officers take a knee, except for the one doing chest compressions, that they knew.
Folks, good. just to break it down, and I know we do this a lot when we're on our live show, but what David's saying is when he says throw him in a blue and white, we have this unwritten rule amongst us brother and sister officers. Here's the deal. I'll tell you what it is. If we deem that you are injured to the point, we're not waiting for the ambulance. We are not waiting.
If I get shot, I don't want even to think about the ambulance. You just throw me in. I was there when, thankfully Flamore got shot. I was part of that chase, and, he got dragged and put right in the back of the car. No one waited. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, David's saying we have an unwritten rule. It's not in our general orders. It's not rules and regs. What he's saying is we have an unwritten rule. It's locker room talk. It's like, hey, we're not waiting. Nothing against rural, metro, EMS, EMTs, whatever. We're not saying anything against the firefighters. Our rule of thumb is if I'm bad, get us, because we could do an escort, put him in a car and escort. We're going to get him there quicker than anybody's going to get our brother officers there. So that's what David's saying.
It just goes to show you. Is there one thing? It just goes to show you work. Again, when you work certain departments, you have those conversations. That's how real getting shot is you make it known to your brothers and sisters that if I catch one, this is how it's playing out.
This is how it's going down, no doubt. So David, this location, July 28th, 2025, it was 345 Park Ave, Midtown Manhattan. And he was doing that paid security detail officer, Islam, from NYPD. The shooter was a 27-year-old. I never say their name because F him. Nope. He was from Las Vegas. The only thing that I did predict during this, David, when I was talking to my wife, I go, with that type of gun, I guarantee you he drove from Vegas. She goes, really? I go, when someone's mentally ill like that, driving across country is nothing for them. Like it might have felt like 2 seconds because they're basically not all with it. Anyways, he drove across country with the gun. He had other guns in the car. And I'm going to tell you this too, David. I know we're jumping around, but I can't wait to dig into the meat and potatoes of this. Not tonight, but that second person was there. They already sent NYPD guys out to Vegas to investigate the person that helped him get these weapons because
supervisor.
It
was a supervisor at the casino who ran security or ran his shift is one that helped him get the part. I guess he built the gun.
Yeah. So folks, when they're talking about this, and listen, I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds, but what they're talking about is the lower receiver is what makes the gun the firearm, right? So for example, I have an AR-15, right? When my AR was bought from Palmetto Arms in South Carolina, they shipped the entire gun to me, with the exception of the lower receiver, which is what makes it a firearm. That lower receiver is just a little piece, and it goes to what they call an FFL, which is a federal firearms dealer, okay? It goes to that person, which in this instance, God rest his soul, Mike Cohen, good friend of mine at New York Police Supply. Mike got the lower receiver from Palmetto Arms. And then that lower receiver, it's just one little piece. He gets it, and they do what they call the Brady check on it. The Brady check is, obviously, everyone knows Brady was the one who got shot during Ronald Reagan tenure as president in the 80s. So the Brady bill makes the FFL call into a hotline. They talk to the FBI, and they say, yep, Johnny hasn't had any mental health issues. He's good to go. They give him all the pedigree information. They give him my name, my social security number, all that good stuff. Mike documents it in a little journal, and the lower receiver is then given to me. That lower receiver, which is what I did, I gave it to my boys at the ATF, to Patrick. He took the rest of the gun, built it for me, boom, popped the lower receiver on it. That is the long version of what we're talking about here. So if you hear them talking about a lower receiver, that's what pretty much makes the weapon a firearm. Okay. All the other stuff doesn't work without that lower receiver. Anyway, so that's what he did. His supervisor is the one who got that lower receiver for him because he was probably not kookaloots. He was probably not mentally ill, right, David?
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
I can't read into the weeds of whether he knew his boy there was out of his mind or not. I don't know. But so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Listen, anybody that kills a cop, I'm Team Blue. You know what I mean? Firing squad if they don't kill themselves, whatever. I am going to take it. I'm going to take another take on this. Okay. People like this are mentally ill. People that did what he did have something wrong. There's some wiring connection going on in their brain that he's mentally ill. Okay. He said he was CTE. He did all the things that professional athletes have done. For example, Junior Seau, who was a fantastic Hall of Fame linebacker in the NFL. He played for San Diego and a bunch of other teams. Junior Seau had CTE. I know friends of mine that were personally friends with Junior, and they tell me when they would sleep at his house or he would sleep at theirs, he had a nightstand full of medication just to get through the night. He had a bunch of brain trauma. What Junior Seau did was he shot himself in the chest, and he wrote a note saying, I shot myself in the chest. I can't take it anymore, basically. Please research my brain, go to my brain, take my brain to whoever these neurosurgeons are to have them study my CTE. This is what this guy did. He shot himself in the chest. His goal was apparently to go to the NFL headquarters, which he didn't do his research very well. I guess he got, right, David, to the 33rd floor.
Well, I think in his, when he shot in the lobby, I think kind of got disorientated because certain bays of elevators go to different floors. So I think he knew where he was going, but from my talking to my NYPD sources, it looked like he got on the wrong elevator bays, which only go to certain floors above the NFL. Right. So he got on the wrong elevators, and he got off on the floor, realized that, and just started shooting again.
Right. Yeah, he's a POS. You know what that stands for. I don't want to say it because Daniel yelled at us, but God bless Officer Islam and his family, and God bless the other victims that were shot during that incident. That was a horrible incident.
How about that piece of crap Zorro also? Yeah. He's in Uganda at his wedding, and he's saying, he talks about defunding the police, getting rid of the SRT team and all this stuff, and then he's on there today dodging questions about it and trying to show his support now for the NYPD and the fallen officer. It's like, F you.
Let me tell you something about that guy. He's a snake. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, first of all, he's a commie.
First of all, let me tell you this. To the naive viewer of watching him speak today at that Union Hall or wherever he was, man, he's slick, man. He can really talk. And he had that stuff memorized, and he was looking at the camera, looking all compassionate. But he's a snake in the grass, and that's my opinion and a lot of other people's opinions. Let me tell you this. First of all, he went on and on and on. He got off the plane from Uganda, went right to the officer's house, to the family house. Apparently, the family invited him to the funeral. So the family invited him to the funeral, and he's going to the funeral because I have a feeling, and this was said by somebody, one of the pundits on one of the news stations I was listening to today. They predicted, which I predicted too.
You know what's going to happen.
They're going to turn their back, but now they're saying they turn their backs on.
They're turning their backs, brother,
on De Blasio. But anyways,
not in the church, but they're going to turn out. Any cop outside is turning their back on that dude.
Yeah,
when he walks in.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, so God bless Officer Islam and his family and all that other stuff. Yeah, he's a slick Willie, that guy, man. I don't trust that guy at all. Anyways, let's do this, David. I want to go to the tweet of the week.
It's my girl.
That's our girl right there. She's one of our faves.
By the way, I want to take a little credit because I was all over this. When I saw this ad, I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
Even before her, and I love that she picked up on it, but I love that they did this campaign. I'm telling you, it just shows the tide of turning. Tide's turning, folks.
Yeah.
Tide's turning. Woke is dead.
It is dead. But let me tell you this. Our girl Arlene sent this out, and it was so clear. I sent her a DM, and I'm like, hey, Arlene, this was like clear, concise, to the point. You nailed it. Because usually Arlene is very articulate. And all the time she's articulate. Let me say that. But usually she has a little longer, very articulate tweets. And she's detailed, and I read them all because I think she's a genius. But she writes, I swear these people fantasize about being discriminated against. Why is that our tweet of our week? Because the girl underneath the photo is a black lady, and she is crying about the American Ego commercial with Sydney Sweeney. Folks, if you haven't seen the Sydney Sweeney commercial, it is unbelievable. It's great. First of all, she's a young girl, so no, we're not being perverts. What we're saying is,
I'm being a pervert. She's a smoke show. Are you kidding me?
Sure, she's a young, beautiful girl. Sexy is okay now. It's okay to look at somebody that looks good in clothes. We don't have to be pedophiles about it. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is, she looks great in a pair of jeans, and that's what we're celebrating. We have historically celebrated beautiful women looking beautiful in
How
clothes.
about Cindy Crawford in the Coca-Cola commercial when we were growing up,
Right. Anyways, but people are mad because they dropped. It was literally almost like a vintage, commercial from the 80s. This is what they brought back. It's almost like you're saying, David, that they pumped life in the economy. And I will tell you this, not in the economy. They pumped life into America. And this is a real barometer. You said it, and I got to reiterate. America's back. America's back because this black woman that's crying, saying that it's marginalizing, it's this, it's that. It's basically saying, because there's some things, and I'll read some of the quotes. Basically, she's talking about her jeans, and she's saying her jeans like GENES, and then her blue jeans. She's doing the old double entendre there, and she has a great personality, Cindy Sweeney, and she basically says jeans are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue. Double entendre. Her eyes are blue. Genetically, she's got beautiful genes. She's got beautiful eyes. She's got blue jeans on. Okay. We get it. It was awesome. They banged it out of the park. There's a couple different commercials.
A+ for marketing, made people billions and tons of money.
First of all, their stock went up like 7% or something like that.
Here's the barometer. Was my daughter's birthday. Okay, we go to the mall. Every time it's her birthday, I take her to the mall for a little shopping spree with Dad. She's looking for a pair of jeans. I've never been in that store with my daughter in my life. Now I go in there. She got a pair of jeans from there.
Your daughter wanted to go in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, here's the best part. Ready for this one? Where's my little stat sheet? This is what happens when we do live.
I think they sold out of the jeans in some place. Like you can't keep them in the shelves.
Here's two stats for you guys. Their stock reported 7 to 10% gain. Some reports upward to 18%. Here's the best part, David. Ready for this one? The brand is also linked the campaign to a philanthropic initiative. One of the jeans styled, called the Sydney jean, supports domestic violence hotlines, and a portion of the proceeds goes to crisis services.
And the left is criticizing it.
And you got this stupid broad on the bottom of the screen. Look at her. Look at her face.
How about the genius, though? Don't tell me that marketing person didn't foresee the backlash and attach that to the campaign on the backside, saying what we're going to do is when we're going to get we're also going to fund some money towards, domestic violence or some cause because it's going to hold the left and the critics at bay. Genius.
Yeah, genius. It is genius. But it's just such virtue signaling. And you know what's so funny? What I loved about it too is like you have these. I saw so many white women in these videos, virtual signaling, and they're talking about the eugenics, about oh, Nazi and a straight
Yeah, but
racist.
not one of them was an attractive woman. I'll just say it. Not one.
Not one.
Not one. Not one even remotely cute female criticized I've seen any criticism of the ad. It's all horror shows.
Yeah, all horror shows.
It's called jealousy, folks. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. It's unbelievable.
Gina, I say that every day. I agree with you.
Yeah, no shit. No shoot, Danny.
Damn, it's unbelievable. That's two times. Danny, I need a raise.
It's so funny. My wife's got this little thing that she got from one of her girlfriends, and it said, the prettiest girls are the happiest, you know? And the thing is that just goes to show you this. You could be happy, and it's a joke, by the way, but you could be happy, and not as attractive as Sydney Sweeney, but you don't have to take away from what Sydney Sweeney has and what she's doing. You don't have to hate on it. You know what I mean?
But how much uglier are you when you're miserable? I mean, a large portion of attractiveness is presence and personality and disposition. I mean,
right. There's a combination of factors.
100%. It's not just the look. It's also how cool you are. How great is it when you see a beautiful woman and she's also super cool? I mean, that's just like the grand slam. Yeah,
that's a grand slam.
Right.
But then the flip side too, right? So I have seen what society would deem as moderately attractive women who have personalities for days.
Right. A cute girl.
And you're like, wow, this chick is awesome.
And I've had relationships with beautiful women in the past, and they last a week because you can't tolerate it. You look at them, and as soon as they open their mouth, you want to jump out the car.
Right. Yeah. So anyways, so what was I going to, oh, by the way, speaking of relationships, David, I forgot to tell you this. So I go on the grill today. My wife's like, yeah, I got some Italian sausage, go cook it on the grill. She's like, go cook it on the grill. I'm like, okay, go cook it on the grill. I'm like, so after 5 minutes, and listen, I grew up.
Don't tell me Asher broke the grill.
No, he didn't. Which, by the way, sidebar, I had the pleasure of having the Simpson kids at my house yesterday. What a great thing that was.
Yeah, the Ash man jumped in your pool unannounced.
I loved it. Listen, when that guy peeled down, he was 20 feet from the pool edge.
How about his dive? Watch this, Uncle Johnny.
Oh, my God. That was the greatest dive ever. I loved it. It was phenomenal. I go like this, Ash, that was a 10. He goes, it wasn't a 10. I go, 9.9. He goes, 9.9. That was phenomenal. Viv, by the way, God, her face, she's the cutest little peanut.
Yeah, she's going to be a problem.
Yeah. But by the way, so of course, people that don't know this, David's son and my nephew, my great nephew, because my niece, it's her son. But anyways, I say my nephew Joey plays lacrosse with David's son, Asher. And
Joey's the goalie. On the Harvest 2034 team. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Joey's the goalie and Asher's the defenseman in front of him. They're like long lost brothers.
I love it. So when I slid over to Mama Furique's last night, and there was my niece and nephew there, which are the older kids, which Michael, the RIT goalie.
Yeah,
he was there with his daughter. My niece was there with her two kids, which your children know. My great nephews and nieces. Anyways, man, I mentioned Asher, and Joey popped right up. He's like, Uncle Johnny, okay, he was in your pool today. Okay, so tomorrow, what we're gonna do is. Okay,
those guys are gonna drink all your beers. I think I would.
He started making plans for coming over like instantaneously. I'm like, okay, let's try to work it out with the adults first, Joey. He's so cute, man. I love to see them play together. Anyway, jumping around. Anyway, so I go to the grill. I go to the grill. I lift it up after 5 minutes. I'm like, this sausage, what the hell's the matter with it? It's not cooking right. Right? Listen, David, take a look at me. I've cooked my share of Italian sausage. Okay.
Ran out of gas.
Ready for this? I flipped the I don't know why I saved the container that the sausage came in.
Oh, it's bad.
No.
Oh, it's turkey.
It was an intervention. I told my wife, I go, is this an intervention? You're making me lose weight? It was chicken, turkey, Italian sausage.
Oh, it's the worst. My wife does that. I want to throw it at her. I swear, it's horrible.
So
the kids lose their mind. They're like, "This isn't sausage."
She says, she goes, I go, is this an intervention? You trying to make me lose weight? She started laughing. She goes, Johnny, I swear I saw hot Italian sausage. I didn't read the small print.
That is mislabeling. I'm going to stick up for Pamtastic on that. If it says
so it was chicken and it was chicken. It was hysterical. I'm like, are you trying to make me lose weight? God forbid. Anyways, they actually weren't that
do you feel
bad.
an intervention's coming? Is that something that's
maybe, David? I feel
like you don't need an intervention.
Gene, it's not that bad. I know.
Oh my God, Gene, it's so bad.
Wait, I'm going to tell you what I did. So, I make homemade hot sauce and homemade mustard, right?
You make homemade hot sauce? I never got some of that action.
I'm going to get it to you. I'm going to get to you. And I make a hot mustard.
Is it a meat sauce or like a sweaty dying sauce?
It's a meat. You might sweat. I make it for the I just
hot sauce isn't good for bald guys because we just sweat down our face when we're eating.
Well, I drop off a box every summer to the ATF office.
Really?
Yeah, to our boys. I drop it off. I make a big batch of like almost 5 pounds of meat sauce. It's the one you put on like a Tahoe's. It's the meat goes on top of the hot dogs. And but mine's hot though. It's actually hot sauce. It's actually good. You put a little bit on there, and I do a cold mustard too. By the way, David, we're going all over the map today. We're 26 minutes in.
I love it.
All over the place. Galena, that's my man right there.
Sounds like a setup for the intervention.
That's Chris Galena, man, right there. Galena gets it sold.
He got promoted, I think.
Did he?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he can chime in. I think he's a big shot now.
Like a captain or commander, maybe? Because he was lieutenant, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's probably going to have to build like a 8,000 square foot house now.
I love that dude, man. I tell you, I knew him before he was on the job when he used to bounce at.
Is he from the old neighborhood?
Well, listen, all the paisans are related in some way, David. Hey, watch your mouth. Galena will be laying in your bushes tomorrow morning.
My son called you Spanish.
He did. It's so funny. All right. So that was the tweet of the week. David, let's get into the next topic. We got to get into the PR fest. I got to get into this garbage, man. So, folks, go ahead, David.
It wasn't the police, though. It's corporation counsel. It's the mayor's office that dropped the ball. RPD's just getting blamed.
Listen,
a cop didn't write that.
No.
If they did, they'd need to take a couple days off because it was horrible. But
of course, we're not bashing.
The lawyers don't know how to speak to people. That's who wrote it.
Look, we're not bashing our brothers and sisters in blue, and we're certainly not bashing the chief's office. But I am bashing City Hall. I'm bashing the leadership of the city.
Corporation counsel specifically.
Yeah. David or Danny, pop that up there. We got here's what got sent out. I got this sent to me from a bunch of different people. The powers that be sent this to me, our connections in the RPD. And then Kim DeRosa also sent it. She DM'd it to me. She got a hold of it. Basically, if you can't see, it says the city of Rochester is asking you to partner with the city to be good neighbor by closing your business the afternoon of August 2nd, 2025, 4 p.m., because we expect crowds to gather on North Clinton Avenue on the final days of the PR festival.
Sounds nice, right? Hold on. Sounds nice. Nice tone. We're like, okay, I'm reading this.
So the first paragraph says, we're asking you to partner with the city. Watch this. Watch how horribly phrased this is.
This is a lawyer.
As in prior years, the city expects that following the close of the PR Fest on August 2nd, people will gather in the area of Clinton Avenue because we expect a significant number of people. The city of Rochester will be taking steps to ensure neighborhood safety and security. In order to do so, we're asking yours and the businesses along Clinton Avenue corridor partner with the city to close no later than 4 p.m. on August 2nd. Now, they said asking twice. And
right, hold on. So far right now, you're like asking, and what are you thinking? If I own a business, you're like, I'm not closing at 4 p.m. You can ask all you want. Then you keep reading.
Right. So the guy that is like, you're asking me? Well, I'm not closing nothing. So then you go down to paragraph 3, David.
Ooh, 3 is bad.
Right. Wait, this is the best part. Let me read last sentence of paragraph 2. Ready? This will allow the RPD to better secure and prepare the area to ensure peaceful environment for those that are present. Okay, yeah, right. It's always been peaceful after the PR Fest.
Right.
Anyways, in the event of a business chooses not to cooperate, here's where we go, David. This is
boy.
Ready? In the event a business chooses not to cooperate with this request. Oh, it's a request because I thought you were asking us in the beginning.
Right.
I thought we were partnering up with the businesses.
Right. I thought we were boys.
I thought we were
paisans.
Right? So let me see. Paragraph 1, they're partnering up. Paragraph 2, they're friends.
Right.
Paragraph 3,
Not
this
so
is
friendly.
hey, David, did you write this? You always say ask, tell, make. This is
Literally,
exactly
you could write that in the column. Ask, tell, make.
this is hysterical. Ready, folks? Paragraph 3, phenomenal. Let me read it to you. Uncle Johnny's Story Hour. The event that business chooses to stay open past 4 p.m., the city of Rochester is prepared to use its powers under the gun violence emergency proclamation to order. Now they're ordering you the close of any business that remains open. Such a closure order comes with the force of law, and a violation of such closure. Oh, by the way, it's a Class B misdemeanor, David. And the
Now we're
city's
getting arrested. I went from partnering with you to we're friends to now I'm getting arrested.
Here's the ready. Let me exactly. Oh, hey, by the way, you could shoot somebody in the city of Rochester. Oh, by the way, you can have a gun in the city of Rochester. You'll be out the next day. But gosh dang it.
No, you get an
Don't
appearance
me.
ticket. If you don't hit anyone, it's endangering. You get an appearance ticket.
At 4:01 p.m. during the PR fest,
you get locked up.
You're getting cuffed and stuffed, sir, because your business was open. The city hopes that it will not need to issue any closure orders or make any arrests. They're threatening you, but then they're saying, listen, we don't want to do this, right? So it's almost like, listen, you're being an a-hole. I don't want to punch you. Don't make me punch you in the face. Here we go. That is why we're asking you to partner. They started with the partner. They're ending with the partner, David. We're asking you to partner with the city and voluntarily close your business at 4 p.m. on August.
And who's it signed by? Who's it signed by?
Patrick, Beeth, or Beth. Occupy. That's hysterical. So he says signed by Heinrich Himmler. Yeah, so that's Corporation Council Patrick Beeth or
so
Beth.
It was City Hall. It was it was the council, but it was also that was written and signed by Corporation Council. So that was at the advice of a lawyer.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just break this down only the way our audience knows that we're going to break this down. Okay. Let me tell you, okay, I don't want to hear about white privilege. Okay. I don't want to hear about white privilege, blah, 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 because I don't know. The city is going to spend literally tens of thousands of dollars, probably close to 100 or over 100 G's on this one event. Do you know that? Did you know that?
Way over 100, I would imagine.
Right. All the overtime, all the special forces, all the details, all the uniform patrol, all the people that they're ordering to stay over because no cop wants to work. Guys schedule their vacations during this time because they don't want to be around this S show. Okay. And so I don't want to hear about white privilege. Okay. And blah, blah, because this right here, what's this? Urban privilege? Is this urban privilege or ghetto privilege? Because let me tell you this, it's costing the city tens, if not $100,000, pay all this overtime to block the city streets. Okay. For what? They basically block these streets. It's like a big street festival until everybody decides to go home.
They basically shut down all the commerce so people can riot.
Right.
Controlled riot. Right. Controlled chaos while they shut down the street. So by the way, they don't make the dope dealers at Clinton and Siebert and all these guys go away. They don't push those guys anywhere. These guys are free to do whatever they want.
You know, this is what my message is here. If the Jazz Fest, Fringe Fest, Cornhill Fest, they pay literally tens of thousands of dollars, even on a weekend like Cornhill, tens of thousands to pay for police security, outer security. The Jazz Fest bill is out of control because not out of control. It's I mean, they're paying cops to be out there. They're paying even indoor security, private security. And by the way, but in the hood, in the ghetto, guess what we're going to do for you folks? We're going to pay tens of thousands, probably close to 100 G's, like David's saying, so you can have a party in the street.
Right.
So your girlfriend could
and it's even worse, though, Johnny. It's even worse because
sad.
The city council won't allow cops to do their job when it comes to dope dealers on the corners that are ruining the business environment for these businesses, right? Cops are handcuffed by city council and by the mayor's office, but yet they'll then send somebody out to deliver this message to them that they got to shut down.
Yeah.
So it's not the cops' fault. It's City Hall's fault.
Yeah. But what amazes me is that, okay, and listen, Gino Finelli, I'm not talking about him. He writes a lot of overtime articles.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. But Gino talks about cop overtime a lot. And It's cop overtime because of the a-holes that wanted to defund the police. No one wants to be a cop anymore. So those are patrol shortages. Those are personnel shortages. If you don't have someone on overtime, you have nobody. You have an empty space. You have an empty car. Okay. That being said, that's where the money's going to. That's where the police overtime is going. And by the way, let me give you a little quick cop math. The city saves millions by being understaffed. Even though they put all that overtime out there for the guys, they save millions. And if you don't believe me, research it. If a municipality is understaffed, you're not paying healthcare, you're not paying basic salary, you're not paying uniforms, you're not paying training. There's a whole plethora of cop mathematics that's out.
How about $107,000 a year times at least 100 positions?
Right
there, not including overtime or anything else.
Right,
equipment, training, like you said.
Right,
saving a lot.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear people bitching about overtime, which, by the way, the Democrats created because the old "I hate the cop" attitude from 2020, right? That now is reflected into cop retention, which, by the way, we recorded the show last night with Sergeant Justin Collins, who's going to be on. We recorded it for Bob Lonsberry, 3rd Platoon show. We're filling in for Bob on the 18th, 19th, the 20th.
We're working hard, dude. Way too hard.
Way too hard. But anyways, we recorded the show, and Justin Collins basically talked about them being under 100 officers down, and they talked about staffing and retention. We had a great hour-long conversation with Justin. Anyways, he's in the background of recruitment section of the Rochester Police Department. But I don't want to hear this. Another thing that I love, David, how many times you heard me tell the hot dog guy story, right? During this PR fest, I told it a million times, there was the guy wheeled out his effing propane tank and his gas tank, started flipping burgers, right? But then you got the health department going all over these legitimate businesses, which, by the way, they should be shut down if they're dirty pigs. I'm not saying that, but they go where the money is. The county goes where the money is. They don't go to shut this guy down who's doing illegal hot dog service on Conkey and Avenue or at North Clinton and Avenue D. It's okay if he serves up hot dog. Hey, it's propane. I'm sure it's safe. I'm sure it's not going to explode on the street. Don't worry about it. But here's what kills me. What kills me is you have this guy doing that. You have this free police service that they're giving. Okay. And then, which, David, you and I, we grew up in the city. We worked in the city. We have a lot of business contacts. And then you want to bust the balls of Park Ave business bar owners and restaurant owners who wants to put a tent, okay, during Park Ave Fest, wants to extend because it's going to rain that weekend, wants to put a tent to extend his patio 10 feet so his customers don't get wet and he can still employ people in Rochester. Hey, provide a service for people in Rochester. People are going to have fun in the city of Rochester. You want to bust his balls for putting a tent on the back for a weekend, but you have no problem shutting down city streets. You got no problem with the dude rolling his propane grill up and just serving illegal hot dogs. It's unbelievable, the mentality of what goes on. And I the first thing in my head was white privilege. I'm like, white privilege? Go talk to the bar owners at East and Alexander. Go talk to the bar owners on Park Avenue. They get their balls busted by the city unmercifully. Unmercifully. Hang on, dude. Check my blood pressure. Good thing I ate the chicken sausage tonight. You know?
Exactly. Gina made a comment. I just saw on the scroll that they raised the age. They raised the age for the recruits. So
yeah,
if anyone is listening and you're on the older side, and you can get into put your application in for the test because they did raise the age.
Yeah, we talked about that with Justin last night. Yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right. Yes, we were scouted. 100%. It was literally people try to pluck us during our generation and recruit us to go to other states. You're 100% right. As a matter of fact, Gina, you got a lot of good questions or a lot of good statements. Let me just start.
You need a towel, Johnny?
I know.
I'm sweating.
I'm not pumped up right now. TMD. So listen. So let me just take this off.
I'm jealous. Kim's giving you props.
So here's the thing. Let me just say this. So yes, the age got raised by New York State to 42 years old. So it's not, you got to be 42 by the time you graduate the academy, I believe. That's what Justin explained. So you got to be like in the process at 40, 41 kind of a thing. So it's not like you sign up at 42 and then you go to the academy and you're like 43 and a half by the time.
Right. And I retired at 45.
Yeah. Right. At 42 years old, I had 23
years on at 45.
I had So anyway, so Yes, you're 100% right, Gina. It's a great question. But we talked about it with Justin last night because we commented, David, on our live show on Saturday when we were on iHeart. I'm like, dude, at 40 something years old, I had, what was it, 17? I had 19 years almost at that time, right? I'm like, I can't imagine ripping and running on Conkey and Clifford the way we did the job at 40 something years old. But Justin had a good point.
He changed. No, he had an excellent point.
He did change our view.
I think when he used me as an example, he won me over, I must say.
He did use you as an example.
That was smart, though. I hope no one else does that.
Well, David, you being a hockey player and you're in wonderful shape, you are in great shape.
I was like, you know what? I could do the job right now.
Well, he did say when him and Michelle Calderon are out there doing recruitments, he says, you cannot imagine how we get these second career people who are in shape, military guys. They work out, they're athletes. I get that. But listen, I will. And I told Justin this when we did it. I shot it straight. I go, okay, that was something I didn't think about being that old on the job. But I will tell you this, David. We said it last night. The way we did the job as young officers, ripping and running, because guess what? The RP don't give an S. They don't care. They don't give a shizzy if you're 42, you come on the job. You're going the nights. You're going to 3 to 11. You're going to work midnights. You're going into the most depressed areas of the city. They don't care that you came out at 42. They don't care. You're going there.
You're filling up the old log sheet front and back. Remember when you used to have the log sheets?
Yeah.
You fill up your jobs. There's 2 columns. And we did get so many calls that you'd have to go to the back of it.
Yeah, you're
going in your jobs.
You're going to the shizziest areas. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you're going to the most depressed areas, and that's dangerous. And I don't know, man. I'll tell you this, man. If I had a best friend,
Johnny, from the department's perspective, they want smarter, some maturity. Maybe not so much running and gunning, but we look at through the lens of how we did the job.
Yeah.
And we played fast, and we played right to the line, and we played super aggressive.
Yes.
And as you mature, myself and you probably couldn't play the game that way now. But we could sit in a car and and there's nothing wrong with this, take jobs and, do that. And that's what the department's looking for. They're looking for someone that can occupy space and do a good job, not necessarily above and beyond and the type of stuff that we were trying to get ourselves into.
Yeah, you mean like the time when you made that gun arrest in Angry Town on Jeff and Bartlett, and you caused a mini riot, and I was in my suit, and I had to join the fight while I was in my suit and my Bruno Mollies. Yeah, I remember that.
Or the time that I crashed a car into a church, chasing a car.
But the thing is this, I'm not poo-pooing. You use that term yesterday. We're not bashing the older guys that want to come on the job.
Nope.
But listen, here's what I did say. If you think you're going to be an accountant and you're eating Cheetos and you're on the computer and you got the orange fingertips, if you think that you're like, I'm gonna do a career change, I'm gonna go be a cop, guess what? Don't do it. Okay.
But Justin had a good point. He said that when the candidates come in that age spot, they know pretty quickly based on how much shape they're in, what their background is. Yeah. So, for example, you have a guy that comes in, he's a Ranger or a SEAL or something like that, just retired, and he wants to come in, he wants to go work 3rd platoon.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can handle it. But
yeah, I guess, but like I said, I'm not, if it's the guy that if that's the guy Justin said, the people that are in shape and they're going for a second career, I get it. I totally get it. We know a lot of guys, Mikey D, our good friend, Mikey D, what's up, G Money? But
no, you wouldn't.
She did a ride along with me when I was a young copper. Gina did.
I had someone do a ride along with me for half a shift. They didn't even make it to the end.
Yeah. She did a ride along with me. She's the best, Gina. But anyway, so Gina made me lose my thought.
Is that my Gina?
Mike DePaula was 35. And Mike was a great cop. Mike's the one who
still a great cop.
Mike, he's a great cop. Mike's the one who
look, he came on the job late and he's 52 with the 2-year-old. So listen, the guy can do a lot of different things at a higher age.
Right. I don't know what Gina's asking.
She's asking if that's the church, I think, that I crashed into.
David crashed the car?
No, so I think it was on Flint Street.
Yeah.
Got in the way.
Yeah, we crashed.
The church got in the way of my car.
When they sent me to driving school, they go, Johnny, why are you here? I go, I'm an offensive driver. They go, you mean defensive? I go, no, I'm the Joe Montana behind the wheel. I crashed so many cars.
I'm Cole Trickle. You can hold it.
Robin's Racing.
Robin's Racing.
Anyway, so David, let's piggyback now on the Rochester S show. I was going to swear again. The S show, the Shizzy show. So now, who was the gentleman? I want to give him the tweet that you sent out. I want to give him props because he sent. Who was that guy that you sent out, David? Mike.
I sent
like Mike 50. T. Mike T. Mike T on Twitter sent out this thing and said, let's talk about accountability for the city of Rochester. Kim Smith has missed 4 meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Since July of 2024. Lachey Harris, 3 meetings. Mary Lupe and Willie Lightfoot were also absent from Tuesday's meeting. We elect these people. We pay these people.
Democrats love criminals. Democrats love criminals, and they don't show up for work, is what you're basically saying.
Yeah, he said they can't even show up for a meeting, 1 meeting a month. Yet they feel entitled to use our tax dollars while skipping out on basic responsibilities. If you can't show up, you should be out of office, period. That was from Mike T on Twits. Yeah, I mean, what's going on with the city, man? After, by the way, it seems like they're getting a little complacent and they're doing whatever they want to do now. That Loopy Loop knows that she's out. I don't think she's running, right? She's running on some other ticket slide or whatever she's doing.
What do you mean she's out? She's not. She's going to be on city council again.
Well, she could be on city council, but she lost the mayoral race, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
you know what I mean? But I don't, whatever. Man, we got a lot of stuff. Danny, let's jump to the last thing we want to talk about. We're 46 minutes in. I went on a long rant. Let's talk about the Cincinnati thing, that the brawl that happened in Cincy, folks.
Cincinnati.
Let's watch a couple videos, and then me and David. WK. Was that Lonnie Anderson?
Oh man, I loved Lonnie Anderson.
Gosh, she was gorge.
The Sydney Sweeney of the day, her day.
I used to have by the way, look how we get distracted. I had my favorite poster growing up was Farrah Fawcett. And it was very nice. It was a 1-piece.
Yeah. It was the red 1-piece.
Yeah.
Every kid had that up next to their bed.
It was on my door on Bloss Street.
Yeah, of course it was.
Even then I knew what I liked. That's how it is. 100% boy.
No comment.
Boy. David, listen, we're getting distracted. Danny's sitting there trying to put up videos, and we keep getting distracted.
I'm surprised you didn't have a Knight Rider on your door. David Hasselhoff in a Speedo.
Don't hassle the Hoff. She got her wig ripped off.
You're losing when you're on the ground.
You can't stay there.
You got to get up.
Stay there
fast.
You can't stay there and beg for mercy. You need to get the F up.
And you need to run because you're outnumbered and things are going bad fast.
That's what he was hoping for. He's hoping for forgiveness.
Wasn't happening.
Wasn't happening. You need to get up, fight,
or run fast.
Get up and fight. Now this is the most disgusting part of it.
Yeah, this is the bad part. I don't really care about the dude getting scuffed.
Oh shit! My boy Trump.
I know the guy narrating it. 0-62 in street fights.
Oh Jesus, it was so bad.
Never been a fight in his life.
Damn.
Oh, I thought she was dead. David. See her eyes?
Did you see the after photos? Did you see her, like, the after photos were on Twitter today? I was like, whoa. She is messed up. I mean, I thought she's dead, too.
I thought she was dead when her eyes were open. I never... All right. Folks, listen, there's 2 things. So that was the original video that went out, was all over the twits. It was all over internet. That was the video. Everyone was disgusted by that video. David, this is what you and I were sidebar talking about. I'm like, God, this is disgusting. First and foremost, let me just say this from a fight or flight standpoint. You got to do either. You got to take your people and get out. If it's just you got to get out. You're outnumbered. You're not going to win. Or if you're on the ground and you're conscious, don't think they're going to show you mercy. You got to get the F up, okay? And either fight your way out and just start hooking and jabbing and running as you're doing that, or you got to do something. You got to just get up and run. You don't sit there and hope that people are going to save you, because that was detrimental to that dude on the bottom. That was horrible. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Occupy. By the way, I forgot to tell you, David, Occupy, when he was in the academy, he beat the heck out of me when I was a DT instructor. He was phenomenal, by the way. He's a great fighter, Occupy. Anyways, so we ended up watching this video. We saw this video, like, this is disgusting. First of all, no matter what we're going to talk about, that last portion of the video, David, the girl getting sucker punched, disgusting.
Yeah. And then the city councilwoman had a great comment about it. But yeah, the woman, that's where I think the bad feelings about everyone. I don't think a lot of guys cared, especially with the lead up about the dude, but
yeah. So when videos like this happen, David, I am always, I didn't even respond. I didn't put this out. I didn't respond to it. I don't know if you did or not.
No, I really didn't.
I didn't comment because I was like, I always want to know what happened before,
what was
right?
said.
Right? Because it's kind of like the NFL, right? They throw the flag at the guy that they saw push the dude, but they didn't see the pinch to the ribs or the punch to the balls of the guy that precipitated it.
Right. You don't know if there's the racial thing came out, or if, you don't know what was going on.
You don't know what was going on, okay? Because I was like, oh, man, this is kind of, I'm going to stay out of this one, which I'm glad I did. Danny, roll that second tape. See, they're like, hey, this guy's shadowboxing. He could have gotten out of there. He should have gotten out of there. He should have gotten out of there. He's outnumbered. They're circling him, right? They're circling him. Even though there's people in that circle saying, hey, chill out. They're saying chill out, chill out, chill out. He could have left so many times, and he's staying there because he thinks he's Tommy Tough Nuts.
He's Tough Nuts.
Now watch what he does. He could have got out of there. The dude's like, dude, this is not your party. Get out. They're trying to get him out. They're trying to save him. And look at now he's jaw jacking. Oh, and he gives him that kissy tap.
Yep, then he's got it coming.
That's it. Now the guys that were in the crowd are like, you know what? F this guy. We gave him. He had the opportunity.
100%.
Yeah, Dan, you could pause it at this point.
Again, that's another guy that never had his ass kicked, because let me tell you, if when you're outnumbered, and when the tactical retreat it should be made, and that the writing was on the wall, he should have been boogieing.
Two things. You're 100% right, but let me just show what that happened in that video is, if you watched it, it happened quickly, but this is our cop eyes, right? And Occupy will tell you this because he was a cop. He was a DT dude. We see the whole picture, right? Kind of like an NFL commentator. That guy had an out. They gave him an out like, get out of here. The dude said, dude, you're in the wrong area. This ain't for you. You're outnumbered. He was trying to be a tough guy so he could have a story to tell his boys at breakfast the next morning, but he didn't, what I always say, have a plan B. He had plan A. He's like, oh, I'm going to have a great breakfast. I almost was going to fight 27 black guys. I told them what was up. Well, guess what? The black dudes were like, hey, get out. They stood in between them. They're like, hey, get out, get out, get out. They try to give him an out, and he didn't take it. And then he does the sissy thing, and he reaches in, and he doesn't even give him a good slap. He just kind of pushes him. And then the other dudes were like, hey, you know what? We asked you to leave. It was almost like a Brock's tale.
Now you can't leave.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say I was apprehensive. I was wondering what the backstory was, and that is the backstory. That other dude, I don't even know what happened before that second video, but either way, regardless of what happened, they gave him an out, David.
100%. 100%. He should have been beaten feet. He was outnumbered. He was going to lose. And then for him to make the decision to try to disrespect someone in that group with tensions high was a very bad move.
Right. And what I was saying earlier, because I jumped around, they horseshoed him, right? If you notice, the aggressor that he was having an issue with was in front of him, which of course is always the case.
Then
Then
they flanked
him. They went around, they horseshoed him, and now he's in like kill the man with the football scenario, right? So they kind of were like, I think that we're preparing in case this dude chops off, we're going to hit him at all angles. And that's exactly what happened. The dude to the guy's right is the first dude in the black shirt that punches him. Is like, after they gave him an out, and the black guy in the black shirt was one of the ones who was trying to get him out of there. And now at the end of the day, this is what happens. You know what I mean, David?
Yeah, no. So, and that's why I didn't have any sympathy for that guy. The female, I have tons of sympathy for. You shouldn't be doing that. No matter what she really did. I mean,
no matter what,
hit a female, but
and I say this all the time. When I watch videos, I'm always like, the detective in me is like, what happened before? So, for example, if you see a dude getting chased through a parking lot and then gets stomped, regardless of what the races are, I'm always like, what happened here? You know what I mean? Because I will tell you this. Someone will say, oh, man, he didn't deserve to get stomped. He didn't deserve to get stomped.
Well, if he spit in his face, he did.
What if he punched an old lady and robbed her and knocked her unconscious, and these dudes chased him through a Walmart park? Guess what? That dude deserves to get stomped.
But how about my pet peeve? Some guy spits in your face, all bets are off.
Yeah, well.
I'll chase him to Livonia.
Anyways, anyways, David, that was our breakdown of the video. I'm glad. That woman, I feel bad, man. She got cold clocked.
The pictures are horrific. If you go on Twitter, it's easy to find. I mean, they're not pretty.
They're not pretty. I'll tell you this though. She took a pop, and that, by the way, sucker punching a woman. I mean, come on. That's just disgusting. David, I told you this was going to be a pumped up segment, man. We went off on a lot of things tonight. Well, listen, folks, check out our sponsors, Fleet Feet. Best shoes, best sneakers in town. Rick Borelli at rickborelli.com. WCI Realty. The Winfield Grill. Come on. It speaks for itself, folks. The Falvo Agency. Check out Lou Falvo.
They're great sponsors.
He's a detective specializing in PI work, so check him out. Falvo Agency. Those are all our sponsors. We have the Unbelievable Clothing Company. Check them out. They're Bills themed apparel. Unbelievable, believable is spelled with a capital, I believe, capital BILL. Check them out on Facebook. Check out their website. They're really cool. They got Bills themed apparel. Pretty cool sponsor we just hooked up with. David, you got anything else before we shove off?
No, I'm ready for bed. I'm tired.
This is turning into an online show.
I know. I need overtime. I need time and a half for the last 15 minutes.
I know, man. We've been ripping and running. We got to record another show for something else tomorrow night. And thank you, Occupy. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you, Gina and Gina for listening. We appreciate all you. Thank you, Kim D, for listening. Thank you, Blue Line, for listening. We appreciate all you. We love you all. Thank you, Arlene, for having.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate it, folks. Stick with us for the next Crime Dog live stream every Wednesday night at 9:30. We hope you stick with us for future episodes. But like my brother-in-law Frankie Grassi says, if you can't make it, who cares?
Hoorah!